News team continued to look at home insurance rates here in California. As we've reported, the state has seen significant rate hikes, especially over the last 5 years. That has a lot of people asking tonight, what is next for all Californians and the home insurance industry that was already in crisis? Fox 26 News reporter Myra Franco has more on the future of home insurance in the state.
We've already witnessed insurance companies pull out of the California market due to the wildfire risk. Others have dropped customers who live in wildfire-prone areas and have pulled out of writing policies for them. Those homeowners left high and dry, making it more difficult for them to get full coverage insurance or none at all. Could the insurance crisis get worse after the LA wildfires? We asked California's Deputy Insurance Commissioner if we could expect to see even higher premiums across the state. Here's what he told me.
It starts with holding insurance companies accountable.
You know, they actually issued a check. They actually told us that they had closed my account and that we were settled. Things like that, they're trying to force you to take it, basically.
When you look at what you had and you want to replace it with the same thing, and that number to rebuild, if it just gets unreasonable, then that's a decision that some people, it's made for them. They don't have that option to do that and rebuild.
There seems to be a common theme here. Wildfires tend to affect everyone and everything. And wildfires have a track record of not if they will happen, but when in parts of California.
So what did we see? After past wildfires, we saw insurance companies raising rates.
So will that happen again after the devastating wildfires in Southern California? We asked California's Deputy Insurance Commissioner Michael Soller if all Californians would take the economic hit on their home insurance bills. His answer?
We expect to see insurance rates being more reliable, not seeing the massive spikes that we've seen after some of our former wildfires.
That's because Soller says changes are coming soon under a new state regulation issued by Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara.
Under the Sustainable Insurance Strategy, the regulations are clear. If you want to utilize these new regulations, you need to write more policies in the wildfire distressed parts of our state. You need to take people out of the FAIR Plan wherever they are in our state. You need to take those policies back.
But consumer watchdog President Jamie Court says he doesn't buy it.
He's allowing them to raise rates on everyone in the hopes that they're going to insure more people in the wildfire areas. But there's no guarantee that they will. There's no requirement that they have to.
Soller says he hopes the new regulations will stabilize insurance industry costs and keep them from being passed down to consumers. Plus, he says it will bring relief to many homeowners who are on the FAIR Plan who are already paying triple the price with very little coverage.
For people who've been through it, having those options again, is critical.
Joel Preheim knows that all too well. He lost his home and everything in it to the Creek Fire in 2020. He says he had planned to retire in that home, but a year after he bought it in 2019, he was dropped by his insurance company, so he had to jump on the FAIR Plan. 5 years after the devastating fire, he and his wife are still rebuilding.
So we're back in Fresno now, staying in a rental. And eventually we'll move back up into the house that's behind us.
But the process to start over again was far from easy. He says dealing with his insurance company was a nightmare.
It's just not fun, and they stress you, and it takes a lot to continue to fight to get your money. It does.
On top of that, he says they had to replace everything they lost that they needed while waiting for reimbursement from the insurance company. It was a different story for 2025 Southern California wildfire victims.
Now people can get advance upfront payments when they have a total loss that really helps them get back on their feet quickly.
Unlike the years it took Preheim.
They come back and they basically lowballed us. They offered us money for the house that we obviously didn't think we could get rebuilt for that money. And so I kept after them for more money and up to our limit. And we finally came to an agreement, and we got our money recovered in full about 2.5 years later.
He says the company switched his adjuster 6 times during that wait, losing some vital records in the process.
If I wasn't retired dealing with this process, I have no idea if I would have been able to spend the time to get recovered. It's an awful lot of emails, and there's a lot of phone calls that you make and a lot of wait periods you have to go through.
Hardships, he says, you shouldn't have to go through to get what you're covered for.
Oh my. Well, you know, you go through all the emotions. You go through the anger. You go to the, you know, am I going to get recovered on this and actually be able to go forward rebuilding my house? Or how much money am I going to have to actually rebuild my house? Am I going to have to lawyer up?
And then just where they're at with the insurance process. And some people just didn't want to deal with that battle, and you know, they decided to just move on and find somewhere else.
Ultimately, Irwin says more people chose to walk away from the community they called home.
When your policy might say 20%, if it's a part of a natural disaster and we see plywood, lumber go up, I mean, sometimes it's 200, 250%. That's 3-4 times the cost, and it's just it's that 20% in the policy is not going to come close to the actual replacement costs.
But for Preheim, he says his long fight was worth it.
I'm excited to get retired again, and I'm excited to actually have a really nice house to retire back to. And certainly this house is different than the house that we had before, but it'll be a very nice house to live in.
Even with the high costs and inadequate quick coverage of current home insurance plans.
I don't know, you know, if insurance will get better or get worse, but I do know that insurance today isn't exactly where it needs to be, and I would sure like to see things change.
Preheim said United policyholders helped him navigate the claim process all the way through. It is a nonprofit organization that provides resources and guidance to insurance consumers after disasters. For more information about it, you can head on over to our website at kmph.com. Live in studio, I'm Myra Franco, Fox 26 News.
You certainly have to praise his persistence there. Now, Preheim did offer this advice to anybody else that experiences a fire. Record and document every detail as you move forward with your insurance claim. This includes who you're having the conversation with, dates, what was said, and also how you were treated.